Hello, everybody. I'm here with my colleague from BetaGroup, David Linton. And David, I just want to ask you a question. Let's go back in time 2 years ago. That's 3 years ago. And when, say, Brent crude oil was trading just under $100. And supposing an angel came to you and they said, in September 2024, this will be the fundamental situation for oil.
So we're going to have a war between Russia and Iraq. So we're a war in Europe.
Yeah, Russia and Ukraine.
Okay. So I've got a new piece of information that we're going to have a war in Europe.
Yeah.
And Russian oil is going to be embargoed.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have a year or two later a war in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Suez Canal is going to be blockaded.
Yeah.
And
the war in the Middle East
Hormuz.
It looks like it's going to be a long war in the Middle East.
And it's going on for a long time. And ships being attacked by Iran and the Straits of Hormuz along the way.
Yes. And pirates, and so there we are.
So you've given me all that information.
You have it now. What price do you think oil would be at?
So we're nudging $100. And
higher or lower?
Well, you'd have to say higher, wouldn't you? And you have all that information. And you think, well, oil price could easily be $150, maybe even $200, wouldn't you?
If somebody said to me, then that these conditions that we have now existed, I would say the price would be through the roof, would be my analysis of that. But what have we got? We've got it in free fall, in fact.
Yeah, I mean, as we're recording this, crude oil is nudging $70, making new lows for the year.
Yeah.
So it's completely belying the fundamentals.
Yeah. Even if you had the advantage of an angel coming to visit you and telling you the future fundamentals. So what our point is that it's even when you know these fundamentals, in order to score them correctly, value them correctly, it clearly everybody doesn't agree that is bullish. Because the price is going down. If it was bullish, it would be going up.
Yeah.
So the condition is that there are more sellers than buyers. We are going down.
And I think what's interesting about the fundamentals is that the reasons always become clear. So, after a while, people will say, oh, well, the oil price fell because global demand fell. And, everyone will find the reasons why.
Yeah.
But armed with that information into the future, it just shows that the fundamental view of everything that's going on in that macro picture doesn't necessarily lead to what you think will happen in the price.
This is why we, as technical analysts, just follow the price, which knows all the fundamentals. All the participants have evaluated. They have also their expectations that it's perhaps going to get worse. All of that equals the current price at this nanosecond.
Yeah,
That is it.
And I think the other element is that we can reevaluate constantly our view. So we can say, even if we did think oil was going to break $100 and then it's just not happening, and we say, well, there's strong resistance at $100, and then we start to see it fall, and we fall through key levels, and we say, well, no matter what the fundamentals are saying, the price is actually doing something completely different.
Yes. And pure technical analysts will often say things like, don't tell me any fundamentals, don't confuse me with this news and facts. I want everything is in the price.
Yeah. So I think this is a great one if you're a technical analyst and you're being challenged as a technical analyst, isn't it? To say, to go through this scenario. The other one I do like is because we have the ability to change our chart frames from intraday to daily to weekly, we have the ability to make projections and predictions and analysis, thinking days ahead, weeks ahead, months ahead, different time frames, different views across those time frames.
Which is what people need in their job. If they're hedgers, or speculators, they're getting the price by the end of the day correct, or by the end of the week correct, can make them a lot of money. And then hedgers, it could be a longer period of time. Only thing I'm interested in is where it's going to be in 30 days time, higher or lower. And with all due respect, I don't think fundamentals can do that, because all they are is bullish or bearish.
Yeah, I mean, it's very hard to chunk that information down into timeframes. So you can't easily say with a fundamental view what's going to happen today, what's going to happen next week, what's going to happen next month. And it's challenging with technical analysis to do that, but at least you can have a go at it.
Yeah. And we can answer that question.
Yeah.
Not always correctly.
Yeah.
I say that, but there's not, in our type of analysis, it lends itself. It's fractal. And therefore, it lends itself to doing that.
Yeah, and in the case of crude oil, there's so many different factors. Like, it's bearish on the long-term chart, it's bearish on the medium-term chart, but suddenly short-term it's bullish because it's bouncing off a level. Yeah. And as a trader, you might want to take advantage of that bounce. So the picture is changing all the time on the different time frames, and I think that's just really just a great example of why technical analysis can give you that extra value in trading that's really hard to achieve with fundamentals.
Yeah. And it's more than extra value, it's the vital thing, because that's what you need to do in your job as a hedger or a prop trader or as a portfolio manager or a treasury, whatever it is. Your job is not to say in a year's time it's going to be higher or lower.
Yeah.
That's nobody's job.
Yeah. And I think, the key thing is we really do study the effect of what's happening rather than the cause. So we're not thinking about why something happens. We're just thinking about what's happening. We accept prices are falling. They're falling through key levels where people were buying previously. So those people that were buying at those levels previously are no longer buying at these levels now. It just tells us that, the sentiment is changing.
So I was just going to ask you, and I'm afraid we're running out of time, David, but you can answer me after the call. Where are we going to be on Brent crude oil in 5 days' time, 30 days' time, and 60? But we have to go now. So.
Well, we can do the work. But,
Well, thank you very much for your time, everybody, and I hope you find this little conversation useful.
Great.
Bye-bye.